Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to do something slightly different. Normally I'm doing a lot of packages from China, but this time we're just going to take a close look at a product that is basically coming from China, but it's coming from my local store, the Action. They have a lot of stuff that you can also just find on AliExpress, but I was particularly interested in this controller. This is the Battletron Bluetooth game controller. It can be used for PlayStation 4 and also the PC, and that is something I'm going to check out today. Another feature I'm going to be interested in checking out is the gyro function. Normally this is not implemented in every single controller, but they're advertising, so that is something we're going to do with Wipeout of the PlayStation 4. It comes with a built-in 3.5mm jack, so we can just use our headsets on it like the original controller, and dual vibrator motor. And I can tell you already that dual vibrator motor does have like a more like aggressive rumble than the original controller. That's just a common thing nowadays when it comes to these controllers. Alright, so let's open it up and let's see how we're going to get. They're using a lot of stickers nowadays. Oh boy, they have like 3 on each side. It's absolutely crazy. Man, inside the packaging, we're just going to get ourselves the controller and cable and of course the manual or this toilet paper piece of toilet paper. That's basically like showing you some information. So here we're having saying product name is controller for PS4. It's kind of funny. It was not what the packaging is saying. It comes with a very small battery, 600 milliamps. It will give you like around 5 up to 8 hours of gameplay, they're saying, and will take up 2 or 3 hours to fully charge. So when it comes to the specifications, it's not like something very special, but I still find it very interesting. Like when it comes to the gameplay time, 5 up to 8 hours. So the controller in general, yeah, what I find very cool, we have some extra buttons at the back. So yeah, that's a feature the original PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 controller doesn't have. So that is quite interesting that they made the choice for this. The controller also has a very nice feel to it. I mean, like especially the weight, just where they are using actually the PlayStation 5 mold. In my opinion, it will be like minorly differently than like the original one, but especially when you're looking at the buttons and just feel it, you can just feel that it's completely not the same quality like a PlayStation 4 or 5 controller. But I must say, when you're looking at the PlayStation 5 controller and comparing this with the Battletron, they're getting really close when it comes to the mold. The first thing I don't really get is like, why? Why are they doing this? It's like a PlayStation 4 controller, it has no support for PlayStation 5, so that is going to be super confusing. If they keep doing this, people will think, hey, this is a good PlayStation 5 controller that we can use for PC, because it doesn't really state that clearly on the packaging. It says like PlayStation 4, but again, like, yeah, why? But nevertheless, we do have like some differences, absolutely. The PlayStation 5 controller is just a way better quality. When you're looking at the joystick, it's different. It also have like this, let's say, extra grip at the side, and with the Battletron we don't have this. So it's absolutely like a big difference. It's not bad at all, but I just wanted to show you like there's like some big differences over here. It also implements a turbo button. That is something the PlayStation 5 controller doesn't have. But okay, so it is actually like a PlayStation 4 controller, or basically you can also use it on PlayStation 4 only and PC. So it's kind of interesting they didn't went for the original mold. Maybe they have a reason for that. But when you're looking at and especially feeling everything, the controller, in my opinion, the PlayStation 5 controller plays so much better. And that is something, yeah, when it comes to quality overall, the Battle controller is not bad at all. But for example, the D-pad, it has a different height, just the feel itself, everything, the way how it looks. It's just completely different when you compare it with a Battletron. So if you're like used to playing with a PlayStation 4 controller, you're not going to be very happy maybe in the beginning, because you need to really get used to it, especially when you're touching the button of the Battletron. It feels like long travel and it feels so much more cheaper. The Battletron controller comes with a Type-C connection or USB-C, and when it comes to the PlayStation 4 original, it still uses micro USB. I personally really hate micro USB, because if these ports getting a little bit wear and tear, including the cables, it's going to be a nightmare connecting and charging, etc. So it's an upgrade. But when it comes to the weight, let's take a closer look at that, just to see what are we going to get with the weight, just to see like, is this thing super plastic fantastic? And yep, wait for it. Yep, there we go, 0 grams. So the original PlayStation controller weighs 277, the Battletron 235, and then the PlayStation 4 weighs 218. So it's basically the lightest of them all. So the Battletron controller is exactly between the two of them. It's kind of interesting, to be honest. But how does it work when it comes to plugging it in? It's super easy, man. It's just like plugging it in and just pressing the button. This is for me like my most favorite way just to connect these things. Not a lot of mumbo jumbo, just pressing the start button or the home button in this case. And that's it, we're ready to go. And when you plug out the cable, it will automatically wirelessly connect with the PlayStation 4. Or that basically happened with me. But how does it feel and how does it play? So first of all, the mold of PlayStation 4 is completely different, so it's going to be like a different experience by holding it itself. But when you're looking at the joysticks and just the way how the buttons feel, the joystick itself, I do find it a little bit, let's say, less comfortable to play with the joystick in general, because it does have like a different touch, but especially the buttons. There I am finding the biggest difference because of the cheap feel and of course the long travel. Yeah, and that's the thing. Is it really bad? No, don't get me wrong. It's not like super bad, but you do notice a difference between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. Or I mean, the fake PlayStation 5, the Battletron controller. Oh man. See, I'm getting confused now. This thing comes with a gyro, so let's try it out. I'm just going to be honest, I didn't use this a lot when it comes to the control function and wipeout, because man, this is a completely different way to play. But when it comes to, let's say, the gyro, I do notice a minor difference, but in overall the function works the same. Of course, if you're going to play some wipeout, it's going to be a completely different challenge, because when it's playing this with a joystick is so much easier. Another thing I also find very comfortable, and I already mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you're going to play, yeah, the gyro seems to be working just fine for left, right, up, down, or nose down or up. But at the back we do have like these extra buttons. We can use the extra thrusters on the side of the plane, and I think it's pretty damn cool. So you can use the gyro, accelerate, and then use the back ones for basically using the flaps to getting the right turns. I must give the Battletron absolutely some extra kudos when you just want to play your games this way. The next thing I wanted to try out is how does it work when plugging it into a Windows PC. They say it's compatible, but how good and how far compatible it is, that is something I just wanted to check out with a couple of games. It does work when it comes to Steam or the big picture mode without any problem, so that is great. When you're looking into, like, say, older games like Blaze Rush, it doesn't have any compatibility when it comes to this. Mostly you need to have like an X input or an Xbox 360 controller to play these games to get the best compatibility. There are some tricks to getting this to work, but plug and play out of the box, it didn't work for me. But if I'm going to grab a game from a digital shelf or my Steam shelf that have like a huge support for different kind of controllers, this controller works plug and play without any hassle, and it even comes with a very cool feature. I already mentioned this thing has a turbo button, and yep, that works like the old school days, just holding the turbo button. And for example, if I want to press the square in combination with turbo or cross, depends what I want, you can just basically like put your turbo function on there, and what happens is pretty damn cool. We have now the option to basically implement, let's say, like you can just implement your freaking like turbo button like this. How cool is it just can hold the button? And for example, with emulation or shmups, that is going to be absolutely a great way to play. But again, also for a turtle game, it's absolutely awesome. Where the Battletron action controller is quite confusing with this PlayStation 4 layout. Yeah, I wish they had like a different choice of layout, but nevertheless, it doesn't have like the same quality, of course, like a PlayStation 4 5 controller. But it can be a fun replacement for not a lot of money. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and it would be great to see you in the next video.